welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Allie, and I'm a stay-at-home mom of a 5-month-old little boy named Trace, and feel free to hit the subscribe button and follow along on our journey with us. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about postpartum depression and just depression and anxiety altogether. These are some things that I face, especially as a new first-time mom. Even though I already faced the anxiety and depression a lot before I had him, since he's been born, I find that it comes up a lot more. And this isn't something that I normally talk about with people, and it's really because when I talk about it, I almost feel like they judge you, or almost feel like I almost feel like I'm not a good mom if I talk about these things and I tell people how I feel, and they know that I'm not always 100% confident in every single thing that I do as a mother, because I'll tell you, every single day it is so much of a struggle to figure out who you are, and especially as a young mom, and people just expect you to kind of already have it figured out or already be able to know how to deal with these things. And for some people it's a lot harder than it is for others, and this is something that I struggle with on a daily basis, because I don't want anybody to think that I am any less of a mom, or that I'm not as good of a mom as the next person because I have to deal with these things. But because I'm starting to learn, the older Trace gets, that these things aren't necessarily bad things. Like, these are things that I can learn from and learn how to control and deal with and put aside, so that I can make sure that I am the happiest person that I can be for my child. And I don't know if that's the right way to deal with it, but it's the way that I've kind of learned to deal with it, especially dealing with it my whole life. I've always just kind of learned how to, either face my issue or put it to the side and deal with it later, which obviously putting it to the side is not what I recommend. I definitely recommend that if you're dealing with any of these issues, you go see a therapist or your doctor, whatever is the best option for you, because I don't think of anything less of therapy. I have done therapy on and off my whole life, and there has been times that it's really helped me, and that if I wouldn't have gone through that, then I wouldn't have been able to cope with a lot of things. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of background of why I kind of deal with these issues. Obviously I have a 5-month-old little boy, and we are a family. I'm with my child's father, and if you've watched some of my other videos, then I've talked a little bit about it in those other videos. But I don't have any family, and it's not because most of my family has passed away. Drugs have taken over my family pretty bad, and my whole life I've had to fight the battle of, sober or intoxicated or strung out or other issues. And it's not something that most people have to deal with growing up. It's not something that a lot of children have to grow up and learn how to adapt or equip themselves to make it through life, because they've raised themselves. But because of going through this during my life, and having to face these different obstacles with my mom in particular, I've had to deal with a lot of issues because of it, especially mentally. It's very mentally draining, and it's very hard on me. And even on a daily basis, even though I've cut, those people out of my lives, just because I have to do what's best for my son. He comes first. He comes before anybody. And I don't want him knowing what that kind of life is. I do not want him knowing what drugs are. I mean, obviously he'll learn, when he starts school, but I don't want, him to have to be around that lifestyle and grow up the way I did or have to see the things that I seen growing up because I've put him in that predicament because I couldn't cut the people that I needed to cut out of my life, regardless if it be a mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, or best friend. If they've brought some kind of toxic trait into my life, they've got to go, because that's kind of another thing that helps me deal with my anxiety and depression, because when I have people like that in my life, then it brings me down, it knocks me down to another level, and it makes it a bit harder for me to cope, because I know that I have these toxic traits in my life, and it leads to really bad anxiety because I will harp over it and I'll think about it 24/7. I'll go to bed at night thinking about it, even like the littlest things. As far as, just somebody saying something mean to me, or somebody saying, like a rude comment, it'll go through my head all day long, and all relationships I build with people, it takes a toll on my relationship with my significant other. It takes a toll on every relationship in my life, because I'll get to points, in my month or wherever I get down, in my few months, year, whatever it is, but I'll just go through these little spells where I won't want to talk to anybody, I won't want to leave my house, I won't want to really do anything, I won't really want to hang out with anybody, I just kind of want to keep to myself, and then I'll start feeling, these feelings of loneliness and things like that, and it's not because all my friends have left me, it's because I've gotten so depressed that I've put myself into this position, into this point where it's like I'm in a little bubble, I don't want anybody to mess with me, I don't want to see anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody, and then I start feeling lonely, and on top of my depression, and it just gets really bad, and I start to get really angry when things like that happen, and then I feel like I can't be the best mom that I can be because I get so angry, and then I get frustrated easily with my son, and I feel like I don't get to enjoy the moment with him like I should be able to, and it really gets to me, and it really bothers me a little bit, because I want to be the best mom that I can be for every moment in his life, that he lives. Like, I don't want to live these moments so depressed or so angry that I can't enjoy them or be there for him, or, just play my role as a mother, and be the best absolute mom that I can be, because I'm going through these points in my life, and I don't feel like that's fair to him. I don't feel like it's fair to my boyfriend. I don't feel like it's fair to his family that has been more than gracious and generous to us, and has been my family when I've had absolutely nobody. They have taken me in, and they have treated me like their family, and they've done things for me that my family has never done, and I couldn't be more grateful and more thankful. And when I get into these points, it takes a toll on my relationship with them, and it takes a toll with my son, and it takes a toll just on our house, period. And I've tried to kind of do things to learn how to cope with it, and I've tried to kind of find somebody that I can talk to, somebody that I can vent to, and I have a best friend, and she has been absolutely amazing when I get into these times, and she knows who she is, but I can always go to her, and I can tell her how I feel, and I can vent to her, and she always understands, and she always helps kind of pull me out of these, times that I get in, because if it wasn't for being able to sit down and talk about it and get all these emotions out and just express how I feel, then a lot of the times I don't feel like I would even have the strength to pull myself out of these dark places that I go to. And I have to wake up every single day and remind myself, you are a good mom, you are a good person, like, you've got this today. Like, every morning I look in the mirror, and this is probably so silly or stupid or whatever, but every morning I look in the mirror and, I say, you got this. Like, I tell myself every day, you've got this. And every morning it gives me, the confidence to do a little bit more. And I definitely this is going to sound crazy too, but I think cleaning really helps me also. I've noticed that if I start the day with a, clean house, or like I wake up in the morning and I make my bed, which if y'all look today, my bed is an absolute disaster. And I have not cleaned this morning. But I'm still feeling pretty good. But I notice that when I wake up in the morning and I do things like making my bed, or cleaning up the kitchen from the night before, or picking up the living room, or just anything, as far as cleaning my house. But even just little things, like I said, waking up and just making my bed when I get up helps me start the day off on a positive note, and kind of helps me keep the energy that I need to have throughout the day, and it kind of puts me in like a better place, like a better mindset. So therefore it's like a better place in my mind is what I really meant to say, that puts me kind of in a better mood, to where I don't get down on myself and I don't get depressed or anything like that. And even like my anxiety goes down, but I still have pretty bad anxiety, and that's something that I'm about to touch on now. With my anxiety, it's definitely mostly postpartum anxiety, because most of my anxiety revolves, obviously my son. A lot of it has to do, hold on. Sorry guys, he woke up from his nap, so he's going to be joining us for the rest of the video. But back to what I was saying. I feel like most of my anxiety really focuses around him, just because I worry a lot, and it causes the really bad anxiety. We just started sleep training, and I am going to put a video up on sleep training, but it's hard. I have really bad anxiety when it involves him. I'm sorry, I keep losing my track of thought. Getting back to the video, it mostly revolves around like sleeping or eating or things like that. Like we started eating solid foods and things like that now that he's 6 months, and I have really bad anxiety about that. And I have really bad anxiety about him sleeping. I constantly watch him on his monitor. I'm constantly going in, checking on him, seeing if he's breathing, things like that. And I feel like I can't leave him alone more than a few hours, even when family members like offer to watch him, because we do have family here, and they do offer to help me and to give me a helping hand and to give me that break, because they all know, as a mother, sometimes you just need that break. And my anxiety is so awful and so through the roof. I can't stand to be apart from him for more than just a few hours without, almost having an anxiety attack, wondering what he's doing, how he is, if he's eating right, or any of those things. And it's like, I know that they're doing these things, and I know that they're taking care of him, and I know that they're making sure, that while they have him, he is provided for, the best that they possibly can. And even, I even know that they take care of him, just like me and his dad do, just as well as we do. But it's still that constant thought in the back of my mind, with all these bad things that could happen. And they get so overwhelming, and so... Do you see yourself? They get so overwhelming and so dark that it pushes me to go into these, anxiety attacks and these just awful states of, hyperventilation and freaking out and, wanting to go get my baby, or, needing to wake him up or things like that. And it is hard. And the depression and the anxiety, I do feel like, have taken a bit of a toll on mine and his relationship. And I feel like I don't really know how to say it. I feel like the depression is what's really taken a toll on our relationship, and this is really hard for me to say, because I just want to be the best mom that I can possibly be, and I just want him to, you know, think that I'm the best mom that he could possibly have. And when I get depressed and when I get in these angry spells, I distance myself from him. And I really push myself away from our relationship because I'm so scared that I'm going to get angry at him that I can't really handle it. And sorry guys, it's really hard for me to talk about because, I mean, like I've said 1,000 times in this video, I just want to be the best mom that I can possibly be, and I just want him to be as happy as he can be. And I mean, he's my whole world, you know, like he's the light of my life, and I wouldn't know what I would do without him. He's been my saving grace. He came to me, you know, in a dark time when I needed something to change in my life. I didn't think it was gonna be a baby. Trust me, I really didn't think it was gonna be a baby, but it was. And now I wouldn't trade him for the world. He's the absolute light of my life. I mean, he makes every single day worth living for. He makes every single day worth it now. And that has helped with my depression and my anxiety tremendously. Not really so much anxiety as it has the depression, but just knowing that I have something to get up and live for every single day pushes me that much harder. Sorry, he's currently bitten on Mama's foot. Are you bitten on Mama's foot? Are you being a little swabber baby? Huh? Say hi. Hi. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. But, I mean, he's the absolute light of my life, everything. I can say it 100 times. I can try to tell y'all how much he means to me. You know, I can do all that a million times, but most of you know, if you're a mom or you're expecting or you're a soon-to-be mom, that there's nothing like the love from your child. There just isn't. They love you more than any person in this entire world possibly will, because to you, you know, you're their whole world. You know, to you, I meant to them, you know, you're your mommy, your daddy. You're the only person that, you know, they know. And nothing feels better than, you know, leaving to go to the store and coming home and, you know, your baby just sitting there waiting for you, you know, with their arms reached out, you know, pick me up, or, you know, all those late night newborn feedings at 2, 3 a.m. and barely sleeping. It's all so worth it. It's so worth it. I wouldn't trade him for anything. Nothing. Well, guys, I totally got off track and I lost my train of thought. So, I'm sorry, guys. But just know that postpartum depression and anxiety, and even just living as a mother with postpartum depression, or even just living as a mother, you know, with anxiety and depression is hard. And you're not alone. There's other moms out here, you know, that have anxiety and depression, or, you know, just or just postpartum depression. And it's not easy. And it's hard, and nobody really talks about it because it's this place that nobody wants to really kind of acknowledge, because we all just want to be the best, you know, best mom that we can be, and we just want to be the best person that we can be for our child. And when we have things like depression, anxiety, or the postpartum depression and or anxiety, it's hard to talk about because you feel like people are going to judge you, and they're going to tell you that it's not okay to feel these, it's not okay to feel that way, and that it's not normal to feel that way, and it is. It's, sorry. It's very normal to feel that way, and it's very normal to not always feel like you're the best mom in the whole entire world, because I can go days at a time feeling like I'm the worst mom in the whole world, and 100 people could tell me that day that I am a great mom. But if I'm in that place in my mind where I'm just depressed, then I'm not gonna believe them, like I'm not gonna want to hear that I'm the best mom in the whole world, because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like I am doing everything in my power to be the absolute best mom that I can possibly be. And that's something I'm really working on inside of myself, and I try not to go towards medication, just because when I was younger, before I got pregnant, I was on a lot of medication for depression and anxiety and other things, and it wasn't the route that I like to take. It made me somebody that I wasn't. So if I'm getting into these spells and I have, the few tricks that I have to pull me out of these things don't work, I try things like meditation, or just like a calming, few hours by myself alone to think. But I don't take that time and kind of get lost in my thoughts. I try to listen to like happy, upbeat music, and I try to listen to things that make me happy, and I look at pictures of my son, and I watch videos of my son, and I remind myself that he saved me, that he pulled me out of this dark place, and that if I can get pulled out of that dark place and I can give birth to a beautiful baby boy and be raising such a silly, smart, handsome, intelligent baby, that I can do anything. And I remind myself how blessed I am. I really am blessed. We have a roof over our head. We have, the things that we need to take care of our son. And I am blessed to be able to stay at home with him right now. And reminding myself of all the good things in my life, and the things that I do have really, really help with the depression. And sometimes you just have to take a mommy minute. I always call them mommy minutes, because sometimes, things get overwhelming. Sometimes the baby won't stop crying, and you've done everything. You've held them, you've fed them, you've changed them, you've tried nap time, you've tried everything, and sometimes it gets overwhelming and you don't know what to do. And it's okay to put baby down and close the door and walk away, and take that 10 minutes if you have to, because sometimes those 10 minutes are all we get to ourselves all day long. And it's not easy raising a kid, and it's not easy being a mom, and it's not, easy doing this 24/7. Being a mom is a 24/7 job. You don't get to come home and have a break after work. You don't, or even if you're a stay-at-home mom like I do, you don't get a break during the day, like even during nap time, you're trying to clean so much and cram so much into one tiny little window of time that you don't have time to sit down and relax, or to think about the little things that have happened today that just make your heart smile. And so sometimes, it's okay to lay the baby down and walk away, and let them cry, or let them, play, or just, whatever they want to do. But just know, like, it is okay to take that 10 minutes, take that 15 minutes, take whatever time it is that you need, because it's crucial. Because sometimes it makes that difference. It really does. Like, sometimes it makes or breaks the difference, of being, the best absolute mom that you can be. And I just feel that that's really important. And I know that I've kind of ranted a little bit through this whole thing, and he's been super silly, so it hasn't really been, like a super, like, normal video. But I just want the other moms out there to know that they're not alone, and there are, other moms out there like them that deal with these issues and that aren't the perfect mom, because I am so far from the perfect mom. I make so many mistakes on a daily basis. I make so many mistakes, throughout the week, and just even since he's been born, and I know that as he gets older, I'm not gonna continue, I'm not gonna stop making mistakes is what I mean. Like, as he gets older, I'm not gonna stop making mistakes, and I'm not gonna stop, I'm not gonna stop messing things up sometimes, I guess. You know what I mean? And as long as I'm trying my best and I am being the absolute best mom that I can be for him, and I'm putting my best self forward is what I mean by that, I feel like that's really all that matters. Because as long as he's happy and I'm happy and I'm trying to put my best self out there for him, then I really couldn't ask much more of myself. And I feel like a lot of us as moms especially expect too much out of ourselves. We expect us to pretty much be superwoman, to pretty much be able to take care of anything and everything without anybody's help. And I mean, you can do it without help, but it's hard. And if you have the help, ask for it, because I promise, most of the time, those grandparents are so excited to take baby. Most of the time, those breaks are so needed, and you just don't realize how much they really are, because our gaslight comes on too, I guess is how you could put it, Our gaslight comes on too as a mom, and sometimes, you just need those few hours or even few minutes just to yourself. And they really help, they really help make the day easier, or the week easier, or, just whatever it is. But take the time. I can't stress it enough. I really can't. And I'm one of the world's worst about, I swear, this is probably the last thing I say, and then we're going to go ahead and end the video just because it's getting super long. But take the time. It's so important. It's so needed. I'm also the mom that also, well, if I can quit saying also, I'm also the mom that that doesn't want to take the time. I'm the one that doesn't want to let him go to his grandparents for a few hours, or let dad take him, while I relax in the bath, or, like I even just get a shower to myself, or I get to, put the sheets on the bed, or whatever it is, like sometimes I just don't want to ask for that help, or I don't want to expect it, or I don't want to let him go, like I just don't want to, miss him or feel like that. And I know that when he goes, my anxiety is going to kick in, but even those few minutes after he goes that I get to kind of sit down, and take that moment to myself, that in that moment I know I needed it. I needed that moment, I needed to be able to collect my thoughts, my feelings, what's happened today, the things that Trace has done that make my heart smile, and remind myself why I love him so much, and why I'm so grateful that I get to be his mommy, because I wouldn't want to be anybody else's mommy. And those things are special to me, and they matter, and a lot of the time we don't get to think about those things unless we do get to have those few minutes to yourself. So that's kind of it for my little, like my little sit down rant talk video, whatever you want to call it, if you made it this far in the video. So I'm going to go, guys, and I'm going to go fix him some lunch and get him in his clothes for today. And hopefully we have a good day today. Mommy's feeling good, and it seems like he's feeling good too, so I think we'll have a pretty good day today and find something to do. You guys have a good day, and we will talk to you later. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Say bye-bye. See you bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye.